Watching Philadelphia beat Washington, my first take was Kansas City matches up pretty well with Philadelphia. Buffalo does not. So heartbreak was going to happen yesterday or Super Bowl. Buffalo, be thankful because you're not stopping this run game. Let's be honest about Washington. What we saw is what we all thought could happen. Washington ran out of juice. They were missing their best O-line and D linemen, and they have elite talent everywhere. I mean, you forget that Devontae Smith is on the team for Philadelphia, a Heisman winner at receiver. You're like, they have to engineer plays, jet sweeps to get him the ball. He'd be a number one receiver on a third to a half of the teams in the NFL. You forget he's on the team. Their third-string running back peels off a big win. The Eagles feel like one of those Bama, Georgia teams that just had more five-star athletes. I mean, they've run for 200-plus yards in all their playoff wins. Doesn't that sound sort of like a dominant college team? The first two drives of the game told the story. Washington had that Notre Dame feel. 18 plays, and they settled for a field goal. Philadelphia's like, yeah, that was cool. First play, Eagles, Saquon Barkley, 60 yards. Momentum completely and absolutely erased. We all kind of knew yesterday it was really possible. Philadelphia's better. They are a green wall of talent. In fact, I'm trying to think of a team in the last 8 to 10 years that has as much talent as Philadelphia. Elite players, 4 on the offensive line, 1 or 2 at wide receiver, 1 at tight end. I mean, we don't even like their coach, and we don't think their quarterback's top 5 or 6, and they're still double-digit leads on Washington, on the Rams, on the Packers. Washington was down 2 valuable linemen. They've got 2 great players, Terry McLaurin and Jaden Daniels, and they're going to be back in this game multiple times in the next 10 years. But Philadelphia is so well constructed that at the 2 key positions in pro football, quarterback and coach, we've got our doubts, and they still bulldoze people. Double-digit leads, double-digit wins, it's what they do. Here's Saquon after.
I ain't gonna lie, I try to downplay it in my head, but it's amazing, man. It's amazing. We're here, Super Bowl. But the goal wasn't just getting there, the goal is to win. And we're gonna celebrate, enjoy this, and get right back to work.
Again, Jaden Daniels is gonna be in this puppy a lot over the next 10 years. That's not even a doubt. They got cap space. They need 1 to 2 more drafts, but it's not time for Washington.
Okay, well, it's not time to talk about Washington right now either. First off, I love Colin went on an 8-minute rant about the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Philadelphia Eagles got 2 minutes. I mean, only the Philadelphia Eagles can have this absolute dominant 55-23 win. And you got to be like, we don't even think Jalen Hurts is that good of a quarterback. Okay, right, of course. Which is funny because that's why I saw on Get Up, I haven't done the clip yet, but I just saw the name of the title, of the video where it says, has Jalen Hurts silenced, doubters? And it's like, no, he has not, because he never will. Jalen Hurts can go 20 for 28, 246 yards, 8.8 yards per attempt, 1 touchdown, 3 touchdown rushing, and a 110 rating. And it's like not even a thing. Also on a bad knee. When any other quarterback plays injured, and if they do well, it's just nothing but praise. It's nothing but praise. How about coaching, too? We're talking about how great the Philadelphia Eagles roster is. How about the coaching? How about the game plan? It wasn't just Saquon Barkley's home run shot. This was an organizational win from the players, from the GM, from the coaching staff, from Sirianni, from Kellen Moore, from Fangio. Like, what are we talking about here? Even Brady, or I think they finally talked about, I don't know if it was Brady, but they were talking, someone on the broadcast was saying, like, Sirianni is what coaches the guys endlessly, that when a player is down and they get up, you punch the ball out. He's constantly pushing his players to make those types of plays. And they did it multiple times. That momentum, those fumbles that were swinging, was because of the game plan, because of coaching. So say it out loud. Say it out loud. Don't just say that this roster is great. Who made this roster great? Howie Roseman. Who coached this roster great? Fangio, Sirianni, Kellen Moore. Who still got the ball to AJ and Devontae and Dallas and Saquon and Jalen? Kellen Moore. Who was able to work that O-line even with a backup center? Backup center is just 20 years to life for 99.99999% of the teams out there. And they find a way. They rise up. I mean, like, we like, even when the Eagles win 55-23, even when we try to compliment the Philadelphia Eagles, we just can't quite get it, can we? We just can't quite get it. It's kind of insane. It really is. Because I just made a Kansas City Chiefs video, and all I did was I praised the players. I praised their ability to step up. I praised the coaching. I went through it all. I wasn't just like, they're just better. Because it's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. The Philadelphia Eagles are just constantly the team that's just not good enough. They were said again and again and again, they're just not good enough. Kellen Moore is just not good enough. He got fired by Dallas. He got fired from the Los Angeles Chargers. He's just not good enough. Fangio, he's just not good enough. They couldn't get rid of him fast enough in Miami. He's just not good enough. Nick Sirianni, he's being fired before Thanksgiving. He's just not good enough. Nick Wright and Colin both said he's gone by Thanksgiving because he's just not good enough. Jalen Hurts, oh man, they're going to have to Carson Wentz him because he's just not good enough. Saquon Barkley was available. Only like one other team wanted him because he's just not good enough. Jalen Hurts, just not good enough. A.J. Brown, just not good enough. This O-line, just not good enough. They're now missing Jason Kelsey. This O-line is just not good enough. How are they going to do the brotherly shove? I don't know. Maybe amazingly still. Every step of the way, just not good enough. And now here they are, just not good enough in the Super Bowl, setting the record for most points. 55. I don't care who you're playing. 55 points. Detroit Lions didn't do that all year. All year we heard about how amazing the Detroit Lions offense is. They didn't do that once. Philadelphia Eagles did it in the NFC Championship game. They had more rushing yards than Dallas, more rushing touchdowns than Dallas had in their entire season. Jalen Hurts has now more playoff wins in a single season, than majority of the quarterbacks have in the entire NFL. Think about that. Jalen Hurts is now the first Philadelphia Eagles to get to multiple Super Bowls. Just wild. Wild. The Washington Commanders were the hottest team. The hottest team. They were able to get after the Bucs. They were able to get after the Lions. They could not against the Philadelphia Eagles. They could not. And don't be blaming turnovers. The Philadelphia Eagles forced those turnovers. Literally. They contained Jaden Daniels. Philadelphia Eagles had 462 total yards. And again, you're asking Jalen Hurts to make big-time throws in big-time moments. Fourth down conversions, throwing the ball deep to A.J. Brown. That's a pretty nice throw for someone who can't throw the ball. And again, Jalen Hurts would have had even better stats if it wasn't for some penalties and more touchdown passes. Washington Commanders say that they're going to hit him like a running back. Well, you got to catch him first. And no, it wasn't all brotherly shoves either. And that how they couldn't even stop the one brotherly shove at the goal line. I mean, that was just a clown show, man. That really was. That's a desperate team. That's a team that knows they can't stop that. Did you see Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills struggle to convert their short yardage gains? They couldn't do it. They have a fantastic O-line and an absolute monster at quarterback position in Josh Allen. The dude's like, he's a freak of nature. They couldn't get it. I mean, the one time they did, but the refs, refs gonna refs. But still struggling. But the Eagles and little old Jalen Hurts and backup linemen that are completely out of position. The Eagles still find a way. They had 5 penalties, forced 4 turnovers. Hurts is now the 5th quarterback to go to multiple Super Bowls before the age of 27. Yeah, seems like a pretty good quarterback to me. Just wild. Wild, wild, wild. Every step of the way, this team showed who they are. And every step of the way, people continued to just try to tell them who they're not, what they're incapable of achieving. People said they were going to lose to the Packers. They said that they were going to lose to the Rams. They said that they were going to lose to the Commanders. Rex Ryan's out there saying that unless Saquon Barkley has an amazing game, they're not going to win. And then even today, yeah, people like Shannon Sharp, it was Saquon Barkley. Was it really? It seemed like it was the Philadelphia Eagles. It was all Saquon Barkley. This was a Saquon Barkley game. Like, what are we doing here? Seriously, what are we doing here? This was all about the Philadelphia Eagles. That's what it was. This was about coaching. This was about the players. This was about the O-line, the D-line, Jalen Carter, backup players stepping up. Jalen Hurts throwing the ball. You know, the thing that you guys say that he can't do. Dallas Goedert, Saquon Barkley. This was a team win. This wasn't about one individual. This wasn't about one individual coach. This wasn't about one individual quarterback, one individual wide receiver, one individual running back. This was about the Philadelphia Eagles. Stop trying to reduce everything down to the dumbest possible take. Just stop. It's like everyone goes in to make content and just tries their best to pretend like they don't actually know what's going on. It's like, oh no, if I don't just make it the simplest thing, people will realize just how incompetent I really am. Heck, even this bottom line makes no sense. Barkley, 118 yards, 3 touchdowns, Hurts, 4 total touchdowns. That doesn't tell the story. That doesn't tell the story. Because it's weird. Look at this bottom. 18 for 26, 288 total yards, 3 touchdowns. Why does Hurts get the short end of the stick for that one? Mahomes, 18 for 26, 288 total yards, 3 touchdowns. And like a 9-minute rant about the Chiefs. Jalen Hurts just 4 total touchdowns. He didn't do anything else. He just had 4 total touchdowns. Well, yippity-doo-dah. I did see after the commercial break, there's another, I assume it looked like it was Saquon Barkley. It looked like the image looked like of Saquon Barkley running, so I'll break down that clip as well. But we'll have to obviously get this one out immediately. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Philadelphia Eagles? How impressive was this blowout win? Where do you think the credit goes? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.